Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Castello Show. It is match week 14. This is the first Zoom episode we've ever done. It was not intentional. This is on me. We were in person to record, and I forgot the SD card to record too.
Not the SD card, the adapter.
Oh, well, I didn't have either. You found an SD card.
I had a card.
Yeah,
And
but
then
we
when
still
you're on
didn't
your
have an
way
adapter.
home, I found an adapter.
Yeah. So we apologize. The audio's probably not as good as usual. We're going back to in person. This isn't going to be all the time, but we figured we got to at
Yeah,
least
and the
get
audio
something
is
out.
not great now. It'll be back to perfect next week. But we have so much good information, and we wanted to get that out to you. I know Travis really needs this information for this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got Travis Landon, who was supposed to be on the show, and then had to work like a
That
loser.
son of a bitch.
So he's gonna need stuff this week. He actually told me he like made notes and everything, which I did
Oh,
not
that's
expect.
cool. I
I
don't
thought he was
expect that
gonna.
of him.
I thought he'd come in and wing it for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's totally him.
Now we did have a double game week last week, so we can't cover every single game. Obviously, it's just too much to talk about. We're gonna go through some highlights, but first, transfer, not even news, transfer rumor, which is based on almost nothing. Basically, what we know is someone talked to someone. That's it. There's no details, there's no nothing. But Jamie Vardy has been linked with Charlotte FC. I will say, I don't think this is crazy if it happens because you do have Fuchs on the coaching staff at Charlotte. So
Yeah,
there is a bit of a
yeah. There's
relationship
a
there.
Leicester championship team
Yeah.
together. But when we talked about this, when did we talk about
Yeah.
this? Was this last year, the year before? We talked about this at some point.
I want to say the off-season episode this year
Oh,
going
this year?
into it
Okay.
because we were talking about what Charlotte was going to do with their DP spots, if I remember correctly. And I wanted Vardy, and then they signed Zaha, and I was like, that's fucking better, but it's not better. I want
It's
Vardy.
not better, man.
Now that I've seen
Vardy is
Zaha,
the man, dude. He's an
yeah,
animal, and I love him. Every
yeah,
team needs a guy like that. And it doesn't matter the sport. Hockey, baseball, football, soccer, every team needs a guy like that.
yeah. No, he's a psycho. For those of you who don't know, Jamie Vardy's pregame ritual, he wakes up and he has a double espresso. Then he has a Red Bull. Then he has another Red Bull. And then before the game, he has a third Red Bull. I did the math one day. It is double the maximum amount of caffeine you're supposed to have in a day. He doubles it every single game. He's 38 years old and he runs like he's 20.
Oh,
That's
he's
why.
awesome. Yeah, he's a
Um,
psycho. He's great, and I love the way he argues because he's generally right. Like I don't
yep.
like who's the nine for Charlotte that I hated.
Petty?
Yeah, Capetti. Capetti
Yeah.
argues and he's wrong. Vardy argues and he's right.
Yep. For
Vardy is
sure.
like Westwood, and I love that.
I
And
agree.
it's funny. It's too bad that Landon's not on this episode because some ways Landon is like Vardy. He
Yeah,
was
a
a
little
little bit
bit.
of a psycho. He never drank water during a game. He had a
Yep.
Mountain Dew prior to the start of the kickoff,
Yep.
and then that was it. No water, no nothing during the game. So there's definitely
Yeah.
some similarities.
And then I believe a Dr. Pepper after
Was it?
was there immediately.
And they're both good at scoring goals.
Yeah. Um, Now let's get into it. Wednesday, should I run through all the scores and then we can talk
You can
about
run through the
games or
scores,
yeah.
but we're not going to talk about each game. But yeah, run through the scores.
Yeah. So Wednesday we started off with Columbus Montreal in a 1-1 draw. Orlando beat Charlotte 3-1. We had the Union 3-2 win over the Galaxy, which was a comeback win, no less. We had Cincinnati 1-0 over Toronto. Boring draw, DC NYCFC 0-0. The Dynamo beat Minnesota United 2-0. Then we had Nashville 2-1 over the Red Bulls. St. Louis City Sporting Kansas City 2-2. Austin 1-1 with Atlanta. Salt Lake 0-0 with the Timbers. That is not a game I expected to be 0-0.
Yep.
Then LAFC 4-0 over the Sounders. San Diego 2-0 over the Rapids. And then San Jose Miami with a 3-3 draw. So
Don't
that's
you feel like
Wednesday.
Atlanta had quite a few games that were 0-0 or 1-1 this season that we didn't expect. We expected to be 4-3 games because
Yeah.
their attack should be good and their defense sucks. And we thought, oh, this is going to be a 4-3 game. And it was 0-0. And you're like, how does this keep happening with Atlanta?
Well, and so what I honestly think is happening is they were so bad at the back to start that
Were.
they've completely changed the whole setup here. Like the goal is now defend first, and that's not really an Atlanta
Yeah, and Laddie
team.
Lapp is like, what did I come here for?
But I really think they're just trying to stop the bleeding, and they'll figure out how to score goals later.
Well,
Um,
they're bleeding. I'll say that.
yeah. I did want to talk about the Houston game. 2-0 over Minnesota. I mean, I don't think anyone expected that.
Not
Um,
even a little.
and we'll see Houston again later on in this weekend. Um, DC 1-0 over Toronto. I don't really have much to say about this game. I just like when Toronto lose, and I always like to bring it up.
Nobody watched that game.
No, no, they did
Like,
not.
even from DC or Toronto, they didn't watch that game. Like,
Yeah.
that was worse than watching paint dry.
Um, the Union Galaxy game, I think this is probably the game of Wednesday.
Yeah, and dude, the Union, I actually was rooting against them at some point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like their new coach. And yeah,
Hmm.
great, he's doing better in some ways than Jim Curtin, but the guy makes the dumbest decisions and he sits this guy and sits that guy and we'll figure it out. And then they did not deserve to win that game. They went down
No,
2
I
nothing, didn't
agree.
they?
Yep, 2-0. I mean, the Galaxy really gave it away, honestly. It
They
was,
did. And I guess this guy was banking on that. And Vanny was like, here you go, we suck.
yeah.
And
Well, and
hey,
it's
I'm gonna
also,
I'm gonna get my guys together and we're gonna have another coffee clutch after the game where I embarrass them in front of the world and I'm gonna give you the game.
um, but this was a rough one for the Galaxy. I mean, all the commentators were talking about like, can it get worse in LA? I mean, this was a big game. Um, Another big one, LAFC 4-0 over the Sounders. LAFC's home here, and the Sounders are not good on the road. I mean, we
They're
know that.
not.
And LAFC's really good at home, too. I mean, this is
Yes.
everything lines up for LAFC to win this game, but
100%.
4-0 is unacceptable. Seattle is
Yeah, but
supposed to be
sometimes
a
when it gets to 2-0
contending.
though, you kind of the wheels start to fall off. And I think that's what happened here.
Yeah, I agree. Regardless, Seattle, I mean, I keep hearing Seattle's one of the best in the West. Don't forget
They
about them.
are.
I do think
They
it is
don't
a
lose at home though. And that's
no, they
huge.
don't. But are they gonna play
That's
every
half your
playoff game at
games.
home? I mean, that's the question. If
Yeah,
they're
I mean, if
not,
they're in the top three, like I think they'll finish, then yeah, they'll get home games
yeah, well, and that
until
I
the
honestly
semi.
think that's what they need. If Seattle is the 4 seed, I think they go farther than if they're the five. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah, a
Yeah,
hundred percent. But I think they're going to be the three,
yeah.
and then they're good
I
until the semis. If they can sneak their way into the two, they could get to the conference championship.
Well, and we'll see. I mean, Vancouver, I think, is the out and out
One,
like
yeah.
one. I put
I think LAFC
LAFC.
is going to be number two.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I wanted to say Portland, Seattle. There's a rivalry thing there.
Portland's not going to
San
be there. They just can't
Diego,
defend. San
no.
Diego's just not there. They go on losing streaks. They go on winning streaks, but they go on losing streaks.
Yeah.
Seattle every year, and that's the thing too. You in some ways you shouldn't look perennially, but when they
Mhm.
always do it, they always start slow and they always finish strong,
Yeah,
and they're good at home.
for
Not
sure.
no, they're great at home. They're not good at home. They're great at home.
Yeah, no,
So
they very rarely lose in
yeah,
Seattle.
yeah.
Um,
So I think the season will end Vancouver, LAFC, Seattle. I think that's your top three, and then four. There's a few teams it could be. I think it could be San Diego.
mhm.
But I think there's a few teams it could be. I don't think they're. I'd love to see Colorado start moving up those rankings.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah, man. They just.
they they were disappointing in the
And
San
I'd like to
Diego
see
game.
San Jose.
Yeah, well, in
San
San
Diego, San
Jose,
Jose 4-5 game. That'd be pretty sweet.
yeah, San Jose was the next game I was going to bring up. 3-3 playing Miami with, I mean, oh no, actually, I'm wrong. Saturday was the rotated lineup, wasn't it, for San Jose?
Yeah.
Wednesday was the lineup.
Yeah, the lineup, but Chicho got hurt right away. But 3-3
Yes.
is completely an expected result. Both
Yeah.
teams can score and can't defend.
Yeah.
3-3 is a completely expected result, to be honest.
For sure. I thought it was going to be high scoring. I honestly did think
3-3 is pretty
Miami
high
was going
scoring
to.
in soccer, guy.
Well, yeah, I'm saying I agree. I
Okay.
also, on top of that, I thought Miami was going to edge this one out. I was thinking 3-2, 4-3,
They are a
something like
shit
that.
show lately, man.
Yeah. No, well, and it gets
Messi's not
worse.
happy. He is, I don't want to
Um,
say he's a little bitch, but he's not.
yeah. There is
He's
a
he's not acting like the greatest of all time that everybody says.
no. No, and I mean, understandably frustrated. I do kind of get it. I will also say, for those who haven't seen it, if you have an Instagram, you need to go to the MLS Instagram page. There is a like slow-mo zoom in of Messi trying to chip Galese on Sunday, and Galese like one arm up palms the fucking ball and holds it over Messi's head while Messi runs under his arm. It's unbelievable. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And Messi's laughing as it happens because he's like, ah, fuck. Like you can see that he
That's
knows
cool
that
that he's
looks
got the
stupid.
sense of humor about it.
Yeah, true. I mean, he could be an asshole
I do
there.
appreciate that.
Um,
It is still just a little kid's game. That's what's
yeah,
amazing. Billions of dollars, all of this hoopla, all of us caring so much, and it's a child's game that they're playing.
yeah. Speaking of children, the Saturday scores, Montreal played like a bunch of children. 6-1.
So disappointing to make
I mean,
Bernadeschi look like the best player in the league.
yeah.
Sons of
No, and
bitches, man.
he
Ah,
really went off. And Insigne, I mean, the whole of Toronto looked good this game. Um,
because they're playing Montreal. That's why.
yeah, no, well, and honestly, Montreal is not good. I don't think anyone is under the illusion that Montreal is like a great team, but 6-1 to Toronto. I mean, this isn't even.
No,
It's not like you lost to LAFC
let's look at how
or
many goals Toronto has scored in their games this year. Okay, at home. Ready? This is at home, not away. 1-0-0-0-0-2-0. They are the lowest scoring team at home in the entire league.
yeah, it's pretty rough.
0.43 goals per game. At away, by the way, at home, they're 0.43 goals per game. Away, 1.86. Maybe they don't like their fans. Maybe they don't like being in Canada. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
here's away. Still not great until the six is what brought that number way up.
Yeah,
2, 2, 0, 1, 1, 1, 6. So they have scored two 3 times in 13 games, and
yeah,
everything else was less than two. And Montreal let them score 6.
it's rough. Well, and honestly, it could have been more. Toronto did not hit
But they
every
gave up.
chance.
But you
Yeah,
can't give
no.
up in a derby. You can't give up in a derby.
Yeah, no, I agree. And honestly, if I am a player on Montreal, I'm getting sent off in this game. There's
Yeah.
no
Oh, I'm all for
way.
that.
There's a 0% chance I'm playing a full 90 minutes and losing 6-1 in a derby. I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
going to somebody hit somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
Bernadeschi's losing a kneecap. Done.
yeah, for sure. Um, moving on. We got a lot of derbies to cover. It was a good week. NYCFC, Red Bulls 2-0 NYCFC.
Okay,
But
hold on.
honestly, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, no. You go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
So
I hate the Red Bulls
the
so much. But go ahead.
yeah, the first goal was not great. I mean, the Red Bulls don't know how to defend a counter at all. I don't know if they're slow. I don't know if they're not in the right spot. I don't know if they're just not paying attention. But what the fuck was Coronel doing on the second goal? because dude, it came back to him. He goes to do this set it
Yeah,
up for
and
the
you saw
long
his
ball
face
thing.
after. I actually felt bad for him because I don't hate him. It's really just Forsberg I hate.
Uh,
And so I
yeah,
hate the Red Bull because of him. But really, it's just Forsberg. But I
I
actually like
don't.
Carnell, and I felt bad for him because he knew he made a mistake. And then he tried to recover, like he did everything he
Yeah,
should, and that just sucked. But was it Alonso Martinez that had the goal that was a banger?
yes, yes,
That
it
was
was.
bananas, dude. That
Yeah,
was that was unbelievable. He striped that shit. That was awesome.
yeah.
But
No, Alonso Martinez can play. He's someone that we kind of sleep on a little bit, to be honest.
he is in my starting lineup this week.
Is he?
Yes, because he keeps scoring, and they are at home against Chicago.
Yeah, well, and he's really starting to find a rhythm too. He
Yeah.
started slow, but I'd be curious to see what his last 5 weeks average is, because I bet it's high.
So fantasy wise, when a team you want to find a team that scores in this scenario, right? They're home or the way they score a lot of goals, and the team they're playing, home or away, lets up a lot of goals. That's the case for NYC this week. Additionally, when NYC scores, Alonso Martinez scores.
Yep.
So it makes it a much easier decision, right? You know, when Portland
Columbus.
scores, Columbus scores, right? It could be any number of guys. That's not the
Yeah.
case with NYC. There's a few guys that can score, but generally when they're scoring, he's one of the guys scoring.
Yep. No, I
And so
totally
that's
agree.
why I really like him this week. And we'll get into that later. But we were talking about that game, we were talking about him, and that's why I said it.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Red Bull. And I said a few weeks ago they scored 6 goals, and they finally found it. Forsberg found it, and I was like, slow down. They didn't find shit. It was 1 week, and what happened this week in 2 games? 1 goal in 2 games. I think that's right.
Yes.
One
You
goal
are.
in two
Yep.
games. This
Yeah.
is the Forsberg that we know and don't love. Okay, he's going to
Yeah.
go ahead and have 3 goals and 2 assists in a game, and then he's going to go dormant like Bermuda grass for 10 weeks, and that's
Yeah.
who he
Well,
is.
he does, and you said this before, so I don't want to spend a bunch of time on this, but you really do need a Lewis Morgan to balance out Forsberg because
Mm-hmm.
Forsberg can't do it all
You
alone.
could
And
say it
I
again.
think,
It could have been the week that we didn't wind up actually recording.
that's true. What I
Yeah,
do
Dale.
think,
I don't even
though,
know what I've said that's been heard now because of that week.
Lewis Morgan, he's not just a good player, he's also a distraction. And I think with the Red Bulls right now, it's if you can stop Forsberg, you just stop the whole team. And Forsberg isn't that hard to stop when he doesn't have a lot of weapons around.
No, no.
Forsberg
And
does well.
Choupo-Moting scores, but I think he
Yeah, well,
needs
and
help.
he does. And I think Lewis Morgan would provide that. I think if
Yeah,
Lewis Morgan
absolutely.
steps in, Choupo-Moting and Forsberg's stats get better. Not just Lewis Morgan comes in and scores a bunch of goals. He's someone
Yep.
that really elevates a team. And I honestly think that is why we don't have a Forsberg this season like we did last year. Because last year we had Lewis Morgan to help him out.
But Forsberg last year was similar. I think there's more disappointing games this year, but last year he was still very hot and cold.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot less so than this. I feel like his worst games were still okay last year. Like it was fours, he had bonus points. There was
Yeah,
just
I
more
don't
going
track
on with the team as a
players
whole.
year to year, only teams, so I could not give you that for sure either way.
Yeah. Um, but
Hell
that's
is real.
the
Is that where you go
yes.
to next?
It wasn't, but we can go there.
No, no, go where you going. I'm just
Well,
excited for that one.
I had the Cascadia game next. Goals from Rusnak and Moreno, 1-1. Honestly, it was kind
So
of a
disappointing.
yeah, it was really boring.
Yeah,
I like
and
this
that's a good one.
rivalry.
That's two of the oldest teams in the MLS.
Yeah, no, and it's two fan bases that really give a shit.
They're into
It's
it. I love those fan bases.
yeah,
I love the dude with the chainsaw when the
yeah.
Timbers score the goal.
No, it
Like,
kicks ass. They probably have the best tifos in the MLS is those two stadiums. I mean, they're always fucking funny.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, the game was disappointing. Rusnak did score. That's what you want out of Rusnak in a
that's
derby.
what
I
he
mean, you need
does.
to see him perform. Hell is real. So 1-1. Honestly, it was kind of boring because it was
Yeah,
this like coaching chess match, it was impressive, but I didn't care. Now,
I didn't either.
the Denke
I just
goal,
love the term hell is real. It's
yeah,
the best named derby ever.
for
Although
sure.
El Trafico is pretty funny.
El Tráfico is very good. Um, the Evander bike to Denke for Denke's goal, that was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Um, Honestly, my whole takeaway from this game, though, Columbus they need a real nine. I like Russell Rowe. He's just not it. He can't be the out and out striker. I don't think he's never gonna be it. I think he's young. I think he needs an older
he's
player around
Ajamon.
him. Kind of, honestly, there is a bit of not in their play style, but in the situation they're in.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
he's a
believe
big,
there's a
strong,
lot.
athletic guy.
But I do think, I mean, Columbus, they had Cucho last year, who I think takes this game over the top.
Nobody on Columbus's roster is anywhere near Cucho,
No, no, and I think the thought was Rossi was going to kind of step into a
and
bigger
he is
role.
not. Oh,
No, no, and he's also older. Like, I think the years that you were going to get that out of Rossi are kind of, I mean, you had Cucho there during those years, so we
yeah,
didn't need to see that out of Rossi. And not that Rossi's like super old, but I mean, he's not getting younger. Maybe he's late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in there.
I don't
Um,
know what he is.
I
I'll
want
see
to
if I can
say
find
we've
that
looked
while you're
this up, and
talking.
he's like in his late 20s.
I feel
But
like that's right. We have.
yeah, um, honestly, I don't think either side should be upset about this game. I
No,
think
no, no.
there's
Both
stuff
sides
to
was
work
like
on.
draw at worst, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, no, and
And
it
it just
was
shows you the East. It's up for grabs, man. There's no one in the East where you go, that's a team. They're so good. There's
yeah.
no one.
No, I
Cincinnati's
agree.
disappointed. Columbus is disappointed. Miami is totally disappointed. Orlando, they're 12. I think it's 12 where they haven't lost, but like 7 of them are draws. So who gives a
Yeah,
shit? Charlotte, who's up on top for, you know, 17 minutes, has shit
yeah,
the bed and they're almost out of a playoff spot.
yeah. No,
They're
Charlotte
one
is.
point from being out of a playoff spot in a league that's like the NBA where the whole world makes the damn playoffs.
Mhm.
They are one point from out of a playoff spot. So the East is so up for grabs, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And not
Um,
because everybody's great, because everybody's not.
no, it's like everyone is talented, but no one's consistent. That is the feeling I get out of the
I agree
MLS.
with that. Yeah,
And
no, I
honestly,
agree
the
with that.
feeling I get
Charlotte's not that talented.
out of the West, I feel like no one is consistent except for Vancouver. And the rest of the West is like
So
honestly, I think better on paper.
LAFC started cold, but they're getting more. They're going to be consistent, and
Yeah,
Seattle is going to be more consistent.
I agree. And LAFC, I mean, we've talked about it. Bouanga hurt at the beginning of the season, and no one knew that.
Huge.
I mean, that completely explains it. I think LAFC is back. I'm not worried about them in any way. Seattle, I'm not worried about. I think they'll find it. But other than
Russell's
that,
27, and he just turned 27 in March.
really, why does
hmm
it seem like he's so much older than that?
Maybe just because we've heard his name for so long.
Yeah, well, he played in Italy. I imagine he
You know, he's
started
only
young.
143 pounds.
God, that's I
Quite
have weight
slight.
on Rossi. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Um. Anyway, next game I wanted to talk about. Well, did you have anything else on Hell is Real?
I don't.
Okay. Houston 2-0 over Dallas. Um, Musa and Acosta played and made absolutely no fucking difference in this game. Musa was silent. Acosta was silent. McGlynn looked great. Houston controlled the ball. I think Houston is finding their form a little. This is two good wins from Houston. Minnesota is not nothing. I mean, they're a real team. Dallas isn't, but with Musa and Acosta on the field, you can get popped if you're not paying attention for a full 90 minutes, and they held him down, So, um, I still don't know if I'm like Houston's awesome now, but I do think
They're
McGlynn
not.
is
They're in Texas, and nobody in Texas is awesome. That's
yes, but
not a
I think
slide on the state of Texas. That is about MLS soccer teams in Texas.
right. But um I think we're gonna see more of McGlynn on Dream Teams now. I feel like he's really starting to get it. I think the team
When he
knows how to work
scores, he'll
off
be
of
on
him.
dream teams because he gets bonus points. When he doesn't score, he will not.
Yes. Um RSL, Colorado. I really didn't have much to say about this. Mihailovic scored the only goal.
Yeah.
Um, RSL
This
needs
is
to,
the Rocky Mountain Classic or Rocky Mountain Cup.
yes, the Rocky Mountain Cup.
It
Which
should be
why is it?
renamed the Blah Cup.
Yeah, you don't get a trophy. It's not a cup. For it to be a cup, you have to win a cup at the end for me.
Yeah, you would think.
Um, honestly, I mean, my only takeaway on this game was RSL needs to sign someone. It cannot be Diego Luna all the time doing everything. I mean, literally, Diego Luna has become the Bugs Bunny cartoon where he plays all the positions on the
Bugs Bunny
fucking
pitches
baseball.
to Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny swings his.
It's silly, dude. Every
That is a
highlight from
great
this
one.
game,
So
every
people much older than you don't get that reference. So I'm very proud
uh
of you for putting that reference out there.
but Diego Luna, I mean every highlight from this game is Diego Luna dribbling into three people and there's no
Yeah.
one for him to pass it to.
Well, I have
Um
players like that dribble into three people, and I'm like, release, release,
yeah.
release. They
Um
don't release.
Atlanta 1-0 loss to Philly. I thought Atlanta played better than 1-0. I mean
It
the goal was a
doesn't matter.
PK. No. Um they
This
had
would
a
be a
lot of
great week
chances
for
though.
Atlanta to be on. As an Atlanta fan, I would
Yeah.
love to get his take because I'm so sick of Atlanta. And I am a Charlotte fan who doesn't sound like a Charlotte fan because I only disparage them.
Yeah.
But I am a
Well, that's
Charlotte
from years of
fan.
being a Jets and Mets fan, I think.
That'll do it to you. And Islanders and
Yeah.
St. John's.
Yeah.
So I actually like this Atlanta team, and now I don't. I don't like them anymore. I
Yeah.
don't like underachievers. Like I like overachievers. I like those that achieve what they are supposed to achieve. But when you're an underachiever, you're supposed to be great and you suck. Now I hate you. I hate you so much,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
hate
and
Atlanta now. Now I am
not
rooting against them.
not just underachieving, but there was almost I mean, you remember when oh God, is it who owns the Mets? Cohen?
Yeah, Steve Cohen.
When Steve Cohen put all the money into the Mets, and there was the feeling of we're just gonna buy it this year. That's what we're gonna do. And then they were good, but it didn't work, you
Well,
know.
then the Dodgers spent like $100 billion, and it's all pushed back. So they don't even have the luxury tax because Shohei is going to be paid in like 20 years his salary. I don't know if that's maybe when California doesn't have a ridiculous state tax anymore, and that's why he decided to do that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
what
assume
happened
the
because the
thought
LA Dodgers took out their purse and went, "Oh, Steve Cohen, you're a little man, and we're going to pay way more." And that's
yeah.
what happened. But then Cohen came back with Soto, who sucks so far, but everybody else is picking them up. Soto will be back in time.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
Positive for a Mets fan. How about that?
I say all that to say this. Atlanta tried to buy it this year, and it's not working at all. I mean, they
They
spent
bought
a
the
lot.
farm. That's what they bought.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're just not clinical. They had a lot of chances, and it's not like Philly was some super tight defense in this game.
No, Philly's
Baribo,
defense has not been good at all this season, actually.
yeah.
I keep taking Wagner, and he keeps doing well because of bonus points, and occasionally
Mhm.
gets a clean sheet, but he's not had that many clean sheets.
No. One thing I did want to bring up with this Baribo after the game. It was kind of hard to tell exactly where he was in this injury, but he did say, um, we I didn't start today. I feel my hamstring a bit. It's been a tough month with 9 games. That is a Bariba quote.
Okay, so they may have played 9 games, but Baribo probably played 9 minutes because they never put him on the damn field, even though he's the current Golden Boot leader.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
don't
and
know how he could possibly be hurt.
so I think the reason he hasn't played so much this month is because of some nagging hamstring injury. Now, if
Maybe.
he is a Golden Boot contender with a nagging hamstring injury, when he gets back, I am really worried for the rest of the league.
How is Israel not leading the what do they call that? What do they call Nations League?
Yeah, no, you think they would be much better as an international team. I think they might be focused on other stuff right now in Israel. I don't know when. I don't know that Nations League is their top priority. I think it's
Ukraine would
probably
be
part of it.
really good at soccer too.
Dude, all
Unfortunately,
right. Give me a tournament that's like Ukraine, Iran, Russia, Israel,
Palestine,
Palestine. I mean, Palestine's not even a
North and
country.
South
They don't have a
Korea,
team.
just
Oh,
go
that would
at it.
rule. God, that
Just
would
go
be
at
so
it.
fun.
And there's no rules. There's no red cards. That could be awesome. That is the
Yeah,
soccer I want to watch.
that's sweet. You go to kick the ball and it just explodes.
Yeah.
Um,
There'd be no diving finally.
anyway, uh, Charlotte, I didn't really want to talk about it. They lost
Okay, so
4-1.
I heard this week. Prior to this season, Charlotte has never had 4 losses in a row.
Hmm.
Then, coming into this week, they had 3 losses in a row, and they're on a double game week. And they could lose one. The second one's against Chicago, though. We're golden.
Yep.
So they've never had a 4-game losing streak. Now they have a 5.
Yeah.
Way to lose to Chicago and get embarrassed. And they're an awful team that not only is an awful team, but they're on an awful run. Chicago has been disgusting of late.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
Charlotte still found a way to lose.
I would like to give a shout out to Gutierrez. He looked very good. That first goal was
Okay,
ridiculous.
so no, screw Gutierrez, because I took him a few times early in the year, and he did nothing. He's been absent all year,
Yes.
right? It's been Kuipers. That's the guy. And then occasionally it's Zinfernagel. I don't know, the guy with the Z name.
Zinfernagel.
Whatever. Occasionally, and I took Gutierrez like 3 times, and he had a point, 2 points. So now he finally shows up. It's too late, pal. Your team sucks. You suck. And oh, you did it against Charlotte. Way to go. Charlotte
Yes.
without Vardy.
Well, and that I agree with. That's so funny that we're now saying Charlotte without Vardy. Again,
Totally
everyone,
different team.
it's a rumor. I don't know. This is something I saw on Instagram.
Well,
We'll
Charlotte
see.
needs to get on this rumor and sign him because we said it long before this rumor. He's the perfect guy. He's an out and out 9. He's a spark plug. Like,
Well, and by the way,
and
I
that
do
team needs a
remember.
spark plug. They're so blah.
Yeah. Someone in the MLS really does need to reach out and make us a fucking scout of some sort because not only
Yeah,
were
we're the
we
best.
saying we were saying Vardy a while ago, we were saying Marco Royce before Charlotte had the discovery rights. So forget about LA Galaxy
So,
getting him.
do you remember who I did want Charlotte to get like 2 years ago?
I don't.
Who's that muscle bound dude?
Lukaku.
No. No, bigger. Damn it.
Benoit or something?
No, I feel like it's West Ham.
I don't know off the top of my
Damn
head.
it.
I remember us talking about Romelu Lukaku, who actually looks
He's too good.
fantastic at Napoli right now.
He's too good for Charlotte.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but Napoli could lock up Serie A and Lukaku get yet another trophy. That's really all I had on the Charlotte game, though.
That's all you need on the Charlotte game. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I Googled muscle bound forward in the Premier League. Traore is the first thing that pops up.
Oh, I remember you talking about him now, actually.
Wolves, not West Ham, Wolves. I knew it was a W.
Yeah,
Wolverhampton.
he would be a good one.
Traore, though, dude.
Austin,
What he would
Vancouver,
do to the divers in the MLS.
no, for sure.
It won't be a dive. You're really hurt, dude.
Honestly, I think he might get a lot of cards and stuff, too.
Okay. I love that. I'm all for that. I had a tournament this weekend. As a coach, I got 2 cards. I'm good.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do have to get towards the
We
break.
will.
Hold on.
Oh, do we have to get to the break? All right,
Well,
let's go to the break. How much time do we have?
We got a minute 40. So
I can
kick
get the
your song.
story in, then we'll go to break, and then we'll come back with what's coming up this weekend. Is that good?
Yeah, well, actually, Orlando, Miami, we'll talk about after the break first, and then we'll
Okay,
go into
sounds
next
good.
week.
So I have an 11-year-old girl this weekend. She gets a yellow card. It was awesome. She beat the crap out of this girl. But the girl was on her all game, and there was no fouls called. And so she took it in her own hands, which I'm all for. I will coach that every day. She took it in her own hands. And then she got the foul, and then she argued. And between the foul and the argue, she got a card. So I took her off just on the next out of bounds, and just to make sure she didn't get another yellow. I had to talk to her to calm her down, make sure you don't get another yellow. And she came up and she was crying. And I was like, relax. I was like, people get yellows. Like, that's part of the game. It's totally okay. You just can't get another. You got to keep your head about you now. Now you can't do anything like that. You got to play smart.
Yep.
And she was still crying. And I said, I have 2 yellows this weekend. We're okay. I'm still on the
Yeah.
sideline. Everything's okay. But then she was okay. And then as we got a big lead, man. And then and so then I just held her out for the rest of the game. And I told her why I was holding her out. So it was
Mm.
good. And then we actually won the tournament, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I was so happy. We held on 2-1 in the championship game. The girls played so tough. The other team, we were better soccer players. They were bigger, faster, stronger. But we held on, and we were so tough, and they did not expect it. And it was so good. So let's go to break.
And we're back, guys. Um, Quickly, I do just want to run through the rest of the Saturday games. Austin, Vancouver 0-0, don't care. San Diego 0-0 with Kansas City, don't care. Revs 0-0 against a rotated San Jose, so good for San Jose, but again, don't care. New England did have a goal that got called back that was like a hair offside. That was, I mean, he was offside, but it was very close. Um, but San Jose got away with it. Nashville, DC 0-0. And then we get into Sunday. Two big rivalries. Orlando, Miami kicking off the day. 3-0 win for Orlando in
Awesome.
Miami.
And I don't like Orlando.
Yeah,
I don't like
Miami.
their stadium. I don't like their fans. I do like Ojeda. I like some of their players. I like Glace. But I don't like Orlando as a whole. But
No,
I hate Miami way more. And so I was super thrilled with this outcome.
yeah, 3-0. Miami looked sloppy from jump, to be honest. I mean, they never really looked like they were the better team. They were always behind the game. Um, Messi did some ranting after the game about the refs. Here's the thing. I I I kind of live thought that was a pass back to Glace. I really did. I don't know on the field as a ref. I don't know if I would have called it. Regardless, he picks the ball up and he holds it for about 6 seconds, and then he punts it across the field to Muriel, who no one is marking. If you're a center back, you don't stop playing because there was a pass back on the other side of
No,
the
I
fucking
always
field.
stop playing so I can watch Messi.
But it was like, it was so, yes, the play should have been stopped there, but that's not what caused the goal. Like, what caused the goal was your back line's incompetence. Also, that wasn't the only goal you let up. You didn't lose 1-0 on this book. You
Yeah.
lost 3-0. I mean, you were never in the
Damn
game.
refs.
It was
Gave
crazy to
them
me.
all 3 goals, took away all of our goals.
Yeah, well, and honestly, Orlando should have scored more this game. I mean, they were dangerous on the
Yeah.
counter. They set up a lot of chances. Miami, I mean, Ustari had some hero
Ustar is a
saves.
good keeper. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, he really is. He's
no, I
38,
mean,
by the way.
if Ustari is not their goalie, if their goalie is,
Oh, Calendar sucks.
well, Calendar sucks, but I wasn't even thinking of Calendar. I'm trying to think of someone who's like middle of the pack. Honestly,
Bakayoko.
yeah, give him Takeoka and watch Miami just sink through the ground. I mean, they
That
would
wasn't
never
an
win another
insult
game
on
again.
Takeoka, by the way. I think he's middle
No,
of the pack. I think he's a good goalie, not a great goalie. That's all. That wasn't a knock on him.
yes, no, and I agree. I wasn't trying to pick a shit one.
Yeah.
Um, but Miami just they leave it all on Ustari at the back. They're like, we're just
Yeah,
gonna,
because their defenders want to score goals just like Messi. That's all they want to do.
yeah.
They don't defend.
But this was a bad one. It's a derby. It's at home.
It's
I
awesome.
am. I'm really curious what Mascherano does here. I don't know how they get out
Maybe he
of this
fires
now.
himself. Firing Tata, maybe not the best fucking decision, huh?
Yeah. Well, and I honestly, here's the thing. I don't know who you put in that position now because there were a lot of good coach opportunities last year. I felt like we had a lot of guys that were leaving clubs. This season, I don't feel like it's as wide open as it was. Like, I
Klopp.
feel like, yeah, but Klopp won't. If Klopp
No,
takes the
he won't
Miami
do it.
job,
I was
I'll
just
root
messing
against
around.
Klopp, actually.
No, Klopp won't. Because Klopp's making commercials with the biggest, whitest teeth I've ever seen in my life. And like Klopp uses Travelocity or Hotels.com or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Klopp pays full price. Like, come
No,
on. Who are we kidding?
uh, honestly, when I saw there's one of the commercials where I was like, did he get his teeth done again? Like, did they
They're
get?
ridiculous. He looks worse than Rex Ryan. Like,
Yeah,
it's bananas now. Come on.
no, it's a lot. Um, Dan El Trafico to close out the double game derby weekend. This was a really fun match to watch, honestly.
Yeah, actually, this one was good. It
Galaxy
lived
score
up to the hype.
early.
And I think it was Taylor Twellman and the guy that's
Is
on the
always
air
with
with
Taylor
him. I don't
Twellman.
even know who it is. Nobody
Yeah.
knows who it is. Marv Albert. I don't know. So they talked about how it doesn't matter who's on this team between both of them, the
Yeah.
Galaxy and LAFC. There's always great goals, and
Hmm.
neither team is ever playing for a draw or a clean sheet. They want to score more goals, and that's what it
Yeah.
was. It was great. Like that's what a derby should be.
No, well, and to be honest, that is why I think LAFC gives up the draw because they took their foot off the gas. The last 15 minutes of that game are LA Galaxy pressure. The question in my head was, are the Galaxy going to tie it up? Not, are LAFC going to score another goal? At no
Which
point
is
did I.
so stupid. You're the better team. You step on their throat. That's it.
Yeah, no, and I don't really get the thought process from Trundolo here. I mean, I don't think the Galaxy is a team that you have to be like super worried about overextending yourself if you attack.
No.
I also feel like it's a team that you can
They
overwhelm if you
still
stay
have
attacking.
no wins in 14 games now.
Yep. Yeah,
No
well, and
wins.
that is another point I want to bring up here because 2-2 draw, LAFC, El Trafico, are they back?
Disappointing result for LAFC, even though it's a derby.
Yeah. Well, and this feels like a win for
Worst
the
team in maybe the
Galaxy.
history of the league.
Yeah. This feels like a win for the Galaxy. And honestly, I don't. I'm not saying it shouldn't feel like a win because, to be honest, they need to take whatever wins they can get. You can't have a locker room where everyone just is angry all the time. They got to draw. This is good for them. It's definitely progress. Like they should
Yeah, not
be.
good enough. 4 points
No,
in 14 games. They're out.
it's
I
not
mean,
great.
they might be mathematically eliminated at this point.
They're not mathematically out, but they're a couple games from it for sure.
That's
I
crazy.
I did the math after this game because I was like, I don't think it matters that they drew here. But the first goal, Marco Royce knows nothing about it. I mean, it bounces into his
Oh,
leg
totally
on
lucky
the
he was in
right.
the right spot.
Yeah,
And it was
I
great. The announcers were like, "Oh, look at him! He's so good. He's in the right spot for the ball." And it was like, "Come on,
I don't know about that. And it's not like I get.
that was just lucky that he was in that spot."
Yeah, because it's not even like it was a pass to the area he was. It was a rebound. It could have been
Mm-hmm.
rebounded anywhere. I mean, that
hundred
is
percent.
truly lucky. And then the free kick, it's a great free kick and all, but it's a free kick. It's not a run and play goal. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they could not get a run and play goal. They had one. It got called back. It was. I mean, the Galaxy were down and out until that foul, and I remember thinking, "Motherfucker, they're gonna let Marco Royce do the only thing he's still good at." Which is take a free kick from 25 yards out. I mean, it's the thing that you never lose as a professional soccer player
Yeah.
is your ability to take a
Because
free kick.
age doesn't doesn't have any
Right.
bearing on it. It's a
That was
skill.
all
It's not
you
athleticism and being able to
when
continue running and
when I
fitness.
learned how to take free kicks, and I'm by no means a free kick specialist, but when I was trying to figure out how to do it, Ronald Koeman is who I learned from. He was a Dutch coach. He coached at Ajax. He's big in that whole region.
He was a coach.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
I know who you're talking about now. The big ugly white guy. I thought you were talking about the player. Who's the player?
Cruyff. Is that who you're thinking
No,
of?
no,
I
no,
don't know.
no.
But
Go ahead. You keep going.
Coleman is
What?
who I learned free kicks from. He did
Go
a
ahead.
YouTube video with like some soccer YouTuber where he showed them how to do it. He's in his late 50s in this video, and it's just bar down, in off the post in the top corner, in off the post in the bottom corner, bar down again.
Kingsley
Like,
Coman. That's who I was thinking of.
ah, he was unstoppable, Coleman, and he's in his late 50s for sure, maybe older in this video. And the
Yeah.
reason I liked this video so much was because he's barely move. You can tell like he doesn't he doesn't have the power he used to. He doesn't have the whip that he used to be able to get, but it's just perfect technique every single time he nails it. Like free kicks are something you get better at with time.
Yeah, it's a skill. It's not athleticism. It's not.
Yeah,
It's like shuffleboard.
right. LAFC, on the other hand, the Bouanga first goal, that was a banger. I mean,
Yeah, it
cut
was.
inside, curl to
That
the
was
far post
like
banger.
30 yards out at least.
Yeah. No, that was ridiculous. And the second goal was great too.
Actually,
I
looked a
they
lot like Alonso Martinez's goal.
Yeah, no, it did. I don't remember who hit the second. It was the young guy. I want to say he's a homegrown player. I
Uh,
can't
Ordaz, Nathan Ordaz,
Ordaz. That is it. Thank you.
and he
That was
keeps
a
scoring goals, by the way.
Yeah, great pass, great run. He's in the right place.
And
Kind
he
of
looks even younger than he is, by the way.
he what
That
I liked
dude,
about the goal, he kind of opened his hips because he sent uh McCarthy,
the
that's the
keeper,
goalie.
yeah,
He sent McCarthy the wrong way on it. Like he beat him near post, but he faked far post for it. It was beautiful. Um, I don't know why LAFC didn't try to do that again. It was like they got a second
ridiculous.
goal, the
That's
60th
terrible
minute hit.
coaching.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because coaching goes, hey, we're going to park the bus. Hey, we're going to try to stop them from scoring. Or we're going to go, hey, we're going to step on their throats. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's score. Let's score 4 more goals. Let's go.
Yeah,
That's coaching. Okay. Did you see Marco Royce's interview after the game?
I did. I do. You have go ahead.
If anyone has ever sounded like a German supervillain, oh my God.
Yeah, no, he sounds like the bad guy from Pitch Perfect.
He sounds like
Definitely.
the bad guy from every Lethal Weapon movie. Like,
Yeah,
I've never, and so I think of him as a villain. I hate him. We're aware
yeah,
of this. And he sounded, I can't recall ever seeing an interview of him, and he sounded every bit of what I expected him to.
yeah. No, well, it's funny because his English is very good, but you can't hide German.
No,
Somebody
no,
do
no,
it.
that accent, and his voice is somewhat high pitched for a
Yeah,
guy. And the high pitch with the German accent screams supervillain.
yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a genocide in his future.
the the next week's games. They're back to a single game week now. Thank God, because the last one was quite fucking unpredictable.
Do we want to go to next week before we talk about our fantasy last week?
No, you know why I did that? Because I don't want to talk about my fantasy team. I think
Oh, mine was fantastic.
that was a
And I had a
subconscious
letdown in the
decision.
second half, but it still
Yeah.
was fantastic. So
So
should we just talk about mine?
yeah, well, we can talk about both of them. Do you want to go with your team first?
Yeah, because my team was first. So I had 159 points. I had 99 points the
Yeah. No,
after Wednesday,
I thought
which
170 was in play for you.
oh, it totally was. And if Espinoza played the second game, and Andy Nahar did, Like I got screwed on guys not playing, but that happens. That's what a
Yep.
double game week is. But 99 points after Wednesday, first in Charlotte, 11th overall.
Yeah. Big week.
It was huge. Finished 159, which was still 92 overall.
Hmm.
I don't know where I am in Charlotte. It doesn't come up on the screen, but it was definitely top five. And this is the first week of the next Champions League qualifier, and I'm in the 80s for that. So that's
Yeah.
good start. That's a good start. And there's
Big.
another double game week next week. So I'm
Yep.
feeling pretty good about Champions League this quarter.
Definitely
So
possible.
don't okay. I won't start with Dos Santos. I'm going to start with Joe Willis.
Okay.
Loved him this week. 2 games in which he could add a clean sheet and did in his second leg. 9 points. Very good for a keeper for a double
Yeah.
game week. But I only had 2 on Wednesday. So then I went Dos Santos, who had the clean sheet and a PK save.
Yep.
Then follow that up with another clean sheet and had 20 points. A keeper with a 20-point double game week may have never been done. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
It's definitely the best I can recall.
It's ridiculous. So that was great for me. That was a big part. I had so my defense, Wagner with 12, Nahar, like I said, didn't play both games with 3, and
Mhm.
Tavon Gray with 14. NYC had 2 clean sheets. So
Yep.
defense was good. Had 2 scrubs also on defense on the field. Played a 5-4-1. So had Dreyer with 17, Ojeda with 14, Mukhtar with 14. Everything's good in a double game week. Everyone's averaging at least 7 points.
Yeah.
Had Espinoza, who had 7 points on Wednesday and then didn't play on Friday. So that kind of sucked. Up top was my captain, Boanga, with 15, which is good for a captain. Not great, but good in a double
Hmm.
game week. So he had 30. On the bench, we already said Willis. I had Quinn Sullivan, who I'm never starting again the rest of the season.
Yep.
I had Baribo, who had 19, like 14 or 15 of which were the first game.
Yeah.
And then Messi with 9, which if I had anybody decent, Messi could have been on my bench and not used, which would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
So really good week. 159 over of points, 92 overall in the Champions League right now in week 3. I'm really. It was a good week. After the 99, and it was funny, last week I said I want 200. I knew I was going to get 200. Nobody gets 200 on double game week.
Hmm.
But after the 99, I thought I could have broke 170. But it is
Yeah.
what it is. I'm still happy overall. So,
My week 134, and it should have been higher than that. I got screwed. So
you're a fucking defender, dude.
yeah. So
And
Dave
that's
Sinclair.
why you check your lineups because he was in the lineup in game 1. Not in the starting 11, but he dressed. Get him out.
Yeah. Well, and he had dressed in other games and not played, and
Nope,
that's
that was the
why.
first game he played this whole season.
Yep. Dave Sinclair in the net, he had 10, which is that's fine. I wanted one or
Yeah,
two clean sheets. Uh, Wagner, Nahar, and then Patty McNair with 18. That was the only difference I had there. Hawkins, he was my DNP, and he peed. Uh, he had -1 points in his first game,
he
and
peed
then
the bed. He s the bed.
yeah, rightfully so, did not play the second game after that shit show of a fucking performance in the first game. That screwed me because it took guys who would have been on my bench. Now I only have one guy coming off. Um, Pani Mukhtar in the midfield, he had 14 points. I had Dreyer captain, so 17 becomes a 34. That was really the only great
That was
decision
a
I
good
made.
one. Yeah.
Diego Luna, useless, 4 points in 2 games. Then I had Bouanga up top with 15, Lozano with 11. On my bench, Quinn Sullivan with 3. Ojeda I had with 14. He was the sub. And then Messi would have been the second sub with 9, was it not for Hawkins. So
And what
really
did
should have
Hawkins have?
-1. So it should have been a
So you should
one.
add 10 more points,
Yeah, it should have been a 144.
which is a
Which
good score this
actually,
week.
yeah, I could have lived with that. 134 sucks. I mean, it's what it is. It's a double game week. Weird shit happens.
Yeah. I want to
I
say
will
one more thing
say,
about Nahar
yeah,
because I keyed on him for the same reason as Joe Willis because they were going to get at least one clean sheet out of these two, if not maybe two. They did get a clean sheet in the second game, which he came in the 70th minute, so he didn't get it. And that hurts even more because I picked the team and then that dude didn't actually play, and that is frustrating.
yeah. Um, the dream team, real quick. I'm just gonna run through it. Dos Santos obviously was the keeper.
Yes.
Griffin Dorsey with
As
52
the
points
captain,
as the captain.
bananas.
Unbelievable. McVeigh off San Diego with 24. Hawk from NYCFC with 17, and then Patty McNair with 18. Then we have Marco Royce, 23, Bernadeschi, 23, Gutierrez, 19, Dreyer, 17.
Hold on,
Uh,
just look at that well, it would be the right side of the midfield, our left. If that's not the supervillain duo between Royce
yeah,
and
really.
Bernadeschi that you've ever seen, that's Hitler and Il
Mussolini.
Duce.
That's
That was
so
a joke for
funny.
you history buffs out there.
Yeah. Um, Baribo up top 19, Muriel 17. And then on the bench, Alonso Martinez with 17, Jack McGlynn with 17, Bombino with 15. Don't even know who that is, but he's on San Diego. And then Barraza off DC, he had 15 points as the backup keeper. So Dream Team was 249. Now there are one, two, three, four San Diego players
So
in
it's
this. So
impossible to hit that.
it's not a real lineup, but I mean the on the field lineup, like their actual starting group here, is possible. I mean, you could have had Griffin Dorsey captained. If you did that, I would have told you you were a fucking retard. That's
Yeah.
insane to captain Griffin Dorsey, but it would have worked out for you. Um, but yeah, wild dream team this week. So we're gonna run through the games like we always do, and then we'll get into individual players. Starting at 3 o'clock on Saturday, we've got Seattle at home playing Dallas. We've got San Diego at 4:45 taking on the Galaxy. Charlotte back at home 7:30 playing Columbus. Then we've got DC Red Bull. We've got Montreal LAFC, Orlando Portland, Philly Miami. Toronto, Nashville. Then we move into 8:30 matchups. We've got Kansas City, New England. We've got Minnesota, Austin. Then we go to the 9:30s, Colorado Rapids, St. Louis, RSL, Vancouver, 10:30, San Jose, Houston. Sunday, we got two games, 3 o'clock, NYCFC, Chicago. Then we've got Atlanta, Cincinnati at 7 o'clock. So definitely some mismatches here. Don, you want to go through teams and then
Yeah. So let me pull this to this screen so that I'm looking towards the camera. So defensively, I like DC, Minnesota, San Diego, and Vancouver. We've talked before about my double dark green, and those teams all hit it. They are averaging less than a goal per game allowed at home or away, whichever they are. And the team they're playing against also averages less per goal, less than a goal per game, and that is scored at home or away, whichever they are
Hmm.
currently facing. So those are the teams I like defensively. Attacking wise, I like Seattle. I like San Jose. I like San Diego, Philly, Orlando, LAFC, and that's about it as a whole.
Yeah.
As far as the numbers allowed, now there might be particular players I like just because of who they are, not because of specific matchups, but those are the
Hmm.
teams according to the matchups that I like.
Yeah. So my right now, I've got Baratza in the net. It's 5.8 million. He's just really cheap, and
Yep,
they're a
seven
7:30
o'clock
game.
start.
So I've got him on the bench. I've got enough extra money that I can get a second keeper in if I have to. Um, I've got Ali Ahmed and Blackman right now, and then
Ooh, you love
Ceballos.
Vancouver.
I do. Ceballos is my third defender at the moment. I don't know if he's going to stay there. I do think New England can shut out Kansas City, but they're in Kansas City. I might end up making that Longuane. But it's either Ceballos or Longuane. I'm pretty set on those two, I think. Two DNP defenders who I will make sure don't fucking play this week.
Well, you definitely want Kieran Sargent because he's not on that team anymore, so
Yeah,
he
no,
can't
I do
play.
have him. And then I have Adam Perlman right now, which I'll be checking the lineup because he has played
You
before,
should.
but he
He
doesn't
has
play every
played.
week.
So I have gone perennially with Lorenzo De La Valle on LAFC. He still has not played this season. So
Gotcha.
someone to consider. I need to do the homework and actually see, like Kieran Sargent, who is in the game and not on the team anymore, and
Yeah,
4 million. I'll do
true.
that. I might do that this weekend. Soccer's over.
Yeah,
Um,
no, now's a
so
good time.
yeah, I'm on a break from school, so everything's coming up me.
Yeah. Um, the midfield, I've got Rusnak captained right now. Then I've got Heel and Ojeda on the field. On the bench, I have Evander and Dryer. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna stick with this. This was kind of my gut feeling. The only thing I was kind of flip floppy on was do I want Mihailovic in? Um, I think Evander's going to go off in Atlanta. I really do. I think Atlanta's due for a
He
big
totally
loss.
could.
Um, and I think Atlanta's they've been able to stop the bleeding a little bit lately, and I think the floodgates are going to open in this one. I also think after a 1-1 hell is real, they're going to come out looking to really blow the fucking doors off Atlanta. Um, Up top, I've got Alonso Martinez and Baribo right now, and then I've got Chucky Lozano on the bench. I'm not super confident in Chucky, to be honest, but I don't
Neither am
have.
I, and he's on my bench too.
Yeah, I don't have Arango. That's who I wanted, but he's
Yes,
hurt. So it,
or Martinez, like the
yeah,
two of them. And Arango's out, and Martinez is he still out? I don't know.
right.
But I
So
love San Jose this week, and they're hurt. And Espinosa just played 120 minutes.
yeah, no,
Ugh,
and honestly, I could see this being a letdown game for San Jose just because I don't think the
because nobody's
rotating of the
playing.
squad did enough.
Yeah,
And they
Rodriguez is going to be their leading goal scorer.
yeah. Now their saving grace here is they're playing Houston and they're playing in San Jose. So
Right. And Hernan
they
Lopez should be playing, and he is someone I considered, but he's just
mhm.
not totally back. He's played. He hasn't played a full game since he came back from injury. I don't know how long he's going to play. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. I will say there is a part of me that thought Messi this week. I think he's a little
He's on my
fucking
list. He's not
embarrassed.
in my lineup.
He's not in my lineup right now. I do think he's kind of embarrassed. I don't think Philly is as good at the back line as
Terrible
Orlando.
defensively.
Yeah, I think they really can get exposed. And it's say what
He
you will
could
about
have a hat
Miami.
trick, but he could come up empty too.
Yeah, no, and that's what scares me about him
If
right
you're going
now.
to play Messi, put him on your bench this week.
Yeah, I
Do a
agree.
switcheroo, an autoroo.
The other one that I was kind of thinking about, and I don't know if I can really pull the trigger. Well, actually, there's two. Belonga, I think, is not it's Belonga on the road, but it's Montreal. That's
Yes. Blog
I
is on
like
my short
Belonga.
list and not in my lineup. And I might
Um,
take Lozano out for him.
the other one I thought about, and this one I'm less confident in than Belonga, was Surridge, just because Toronto's coming off such a big win and Nashville's coming off kind of a disappointing run. Surridge has been quiet lately. Like, I think he's due. I could see him going off. I don't feel confident enough to put him in my lineup, but if you already like Surridge, I don't think that's silly. Like I could see this being a good week for him. I could also see it being a good Hani week. I just think there's better midfielders.
I don't
But
love Nashville this week.
I think they're both liable to go off. I don't know that it's. I mean, I'm not playing either of them, but I
They're
do
not as
think
good
it.
on the road, and Toronto is good defensively at home.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like our hatred of Toronto skews our
Yes,
assumptions a little bit.
that's true.
So
Honestly, for me, they just won 6-1. They're gonna come back down to earth. They're not that good. I think
like the Red Bull did.
right. I just think they're due for that. And maybe it's not this week, maybe it's next week, but I think there is an embarrassing Toronto loss coming up soon.
But
Um,
this could be a 0-0, 1-0, 1-1 game.
for sure. That's what I got, John. Um,
All right.
yeah, go ahead.
So I've got Barassa on my bench to be my first keeper, just like you.
Mhm.
5.8 million is beautiful. Um, DC is allowing 0.86 goals per game at home, and the Red Bull are scoring 0.43 goals per game on the road, which is last in all of MLS. DC is somewhere in the middle on their goals against, but still a good number.
Yeah,
I have Takaoka on the field in case I need to pull the trigger on him. I love Vancouver in this, and you think they're away. They're better away than they are at home. And that might be because we're away, so we need the clean sheet
right.
because we might not score as many goals. But they're allowing 0.33 goals per game on the road. They have allowed 2 goals on the road in 6 games, which is bananas. No
Yeah,
one
not
has done
great.
that at home. So I love them on the road defensively. Um,
Yeah.
they are playing Real Salt Lake, who has scored. Looking for them. Oh, there we go. 0.83 goals per game at home. So the numbers line up.
Mhm.
They have actually scored in only one game in their last 4 at home. So
Wow.
the stars are aligned for Vancouver, even though
Yeah.
you might not like them because they're away. On my back line, I have Schnegg actually from DC. Originally like Herrera, and then um, Tubbs was my backup, but they've played so much between last week and this Tuesday or Wednesday that I don't trust that they're going to play.
Right.
The Herrera last time in the double game week only played 25 minutes in the second game. And now he played a full game in this US Open Cup game. So I'm a little scared he won't. Schnegg has played like 90 all season, even in double game
Mhm.
weeks. He's only 4.8 million, and he scored a goal this week in US Open Cup, which makes it very unlikely he'll score another this weekend. But it's nice to know he has that
Yeah.
possibility. I have Ahmed because I already told you I love Vancouver defensively. Plus, he
Mhm.
can also score. And I currently have Longwane. I might change to Boxel or something. Boxel actually didn't play that much in the U.S. Open Cup game this week, which makes him more
Mhm.
attractive. They're obviously saving him for this game. Longwani has the attacking ability, so I'll teeter on that, but I will have a Minnesota defender because those
Yeah.
are my 3 favorite teams. I said 4 teams in my double greens that I've talked about. Um, the other one's San Diego. I mean, they have 2 clean sheets in a row. There's something about it I just don't trust. And LA Galaxy, Peck has just came back last game. Painsel's coming back this game. Royce has actually done stuff. I just don't see San Diego, even though the numbers say they'll get a clean sheet. I just don't see them getting it this week. So that's why I
Yeah.
left them out. I have Kieran Sargent and Della Valle on the in the lineup as my scrubs, like I told you already.
Mhm.
It's the 5-4-1, but with 2 scrubs on defense for an Otteru, for a double Otteru. So midfield, I currently have Heel, Ojeda, Dreyer, and Rusnak on the field, and Mihailovic on the bench. I originally had Espinoza in my starting lineup, but he played 120 minutes on Tuesday. They
Yeah,
went
it's a
into extra
lot.
time. He played the whole game, including extra time. So I'm a little scared about that. how much
Yeah,
he's
well,
going to play if he does it all.
he's not gonna have the help that he usually would even
No,
too.
and he doesn't have his forwards. There's so many things against him, so I pulled him. I put Mihailovic on my bench because of that. I
Hmm.
also like McGlynn. Um, he subbed on Wednesday, so he hasn't played a lot. He's going to play the whole game. I don't know that he'll score on the road, and that's why I'm hesitant. He'll get bonus points. I can see McGlynn getting 6 or 7, and I just feel like my other guys can get more. I
Yeah.
also like Pereira from Minnesota, and then behind those two, Evander. Oh no, Pereira and Evander behind McGlynn and Espinosa. So that's my midfield. Up top, I have Alonso Martinez on the field. I already said before why I love him.
Hmm.
I have Baribo and Lozano on the bench. If Baribo starts and stays in, he's going to score. I mean, he's going to score.
Yeah.
I could pull him because he's not starting. Lozano, he's just so inconsistent. His biggest games aren't that big, so he's a little scary, but I just don't know how they don't score this week.
Yeah.
LA Galaxy, even though I think they're going to start scoring, their defense is horrendous.
Yep.
And I have Dreyer in my starting lineup, and I think he and Lozano can both go off. But I got him on my bench because I'm not as confident as Dreyer. Um, Other forwards that I have, Bawanga, I mean, a lot is pointing towards him. They are scoring a lot of goals on the road. 1.86 per game. They're number 2 in the league. Montreal lets up a lot of goals at home.
Hmm.
They are number 2 as the worst team on the road, allowing 2 points, 2 goals per game. The only team worse is LA Galaxy at 2.33. So I really like Bawanga. I just think I like those guys better. I might pull Lozano for Bawanga. If Baribo doesn't start, I'll definitely pull him for Bawanga. I
Hmm.
have Messi because he's Messi and he's been shit lately, and he's in Philly, who I don't trust defensively. I
Yeah.
also have Muriel because for the same reasons I have Ojeda in my starting lineup, they could go off. And I have Rioni because as good as LAFC is at scoring on the road, defensively they're terrible. They
Yeah.
are one, two, three, fourth worst in the league. They allow 2.29 goals per game on the road. And Vrioni finally scored. If they put Owusu and Vrioni in at the same time, I think they'd score more goals. Who knows what they'll do this week? But
Yeah.
Vrioni could score, but he is the last guy I have attacking wise. So those are the guys I have. Those are the guys I like that I'm considering. I think other people should consider, and
Hmm.
that's why. So
There we go. And then as far as betting goes, honestly, the lines are pretty fair. I mean, there's none that I really think you can like take advantage of. Well, I say that I haven't scrolled all the way down here, but first one that caught my eye was San Diego minus 145 over the LA Galaxy. It's minus 145, which isn't great odds, but I would be shocked if they don't win that game, honestly.
yeah, it's a draw or a win. It's not a loss. So
Yeah.
145, I like them. What's Seattle?
Seattle is minus 250.
I was going to say minus 220. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a rough number, but no Lucho. I mean, they're going to win that game.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
if
risking
you,
250, but a win is a win.
yeah, for sure. Um, LAFC plus 110. I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either. I love a plus for LAFC.
Um, Philly, Miami, both positive. Philly plus 120, Miami plus 195. I'd stay away from this one. It's just
That could
too
be a
volatile for
3-3
me.
game, just like Miami
Yeah.
had last.
Orlando's minus 155 at home. Portland is plus
Portland can score.
350. Plus
Wow.
350.
I'd put a low number on Portland and try to win something. Plus 3.5. I mean, times 3.5.
Yeah.
If you bet
It's
$50 on them, you
yeah.
win
No, and
$175.
I don't love Portland, but Orlando's hot right now. That can't go on forever.
Well, and
Um,
Portland could score, so they could totally win. I mean,
yeah, they come
at
out, they score
three and
early.
a half
It's
times, that's a good number.
yeah. Columbus is plus 135 in Charlotte. I'm not going to bet it because I can't bet against
Plus?
Charlotte, but yeah,
Wow.
I'm plus 135
That's
is crazy for
bananas.
that game. Um, Nashville, Toronto, I'd stay away from. They're both
Hmm.
positive, and it's a weird game. Um, DC Red Bulls, I would stay away from. DC's plus 150. Red Bulls are
Yeah, I don't
plus
love that either.
165. Um, Minnesota minus 135. Don't love the number, but it's not a dumb bet by any means.
No, no, no. I like Minnesota there.
Um, Sporting New England, I mean, New England's plus 195.
Oh,
So,
I love it.
yeah, that's definitely one I
Plus
would look at.
195, you're getting 2-1 odds on the
Yeah.
better team.
No, yeah. The home away, they really put too much weight into that in the MLS with the lines.
In
I
the
think that's a big
MLS,
part
it
of it.
does matter. I mean, I'll tell you right now, home teams are averaging 1.56 goals per game. Away teams are averaging 1.17. So you're talking about 4/10 of a goal difference between
Yeah.
home and away.
Next game on the list, we got Vancouver plus 155 at Real Salt Lake. I I could see staying away from this game, but plus 155, I think is just a nice number.
I could see 0-0.
Yeah, and the draw's plus 250. So
Oh,
if you want to
wow.
get crazy, that is an
So
option.
I would bet either the draw or Vancouver, one of the two.
Yeah. And then the
I would
last
never
one,
bet Salt Lake on this game.
Cincinnati, Atlanta. Cincinnati's plus 165. The
Wow.
draw is plus 260. I don't see a world where Cincinnati doesn't win this game. I really don't. Now, I said that about LAFC last week. So take
I
everything I
told you that
say.
could be a draw, by the way.
Yeah, no, you
It's
did.
El Trafico, man. It doesn't matter how bad they are.
Um,
Man City, Man U. One of them could suck. They're going to play in that game. Like,
yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's the picks, guys. That's the show. John, is there anything else you want to say to the people?
good luck this week. And Brian, always check your damn lineups.
Check your lineups, guys. We'll see you next week.